In this video, I want to talk about the book, Extreme Ownership, and how it applies to your life. Now, before we dive on into it, as always, my name is Mike Poglese, co-founder of Automated Coaching Engine, where we partner with transformational coaches to help them scale their businesses without spending money on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Now, like I said, in this video, I want to talk about the book Extreme Ownership and how it applies to your life, but specifically more so business, sales, marketing, all the topics that I like to talk about. To give a little bit of background on the book, number one, if you don't know who Jocko Willink is, highly suggest you find him on social media, follow him. He's a super cool fucking guy. His partner, Leif Babin, he is also a fucking badass as well. I do believe they were in Navy SEALs together. Jocko himself is actually, he was a part of SEAL Team 6. So I'm sure, like through time you fucking heard about SEAL Team 6, all the accomplishments, all the crazy shit they've done. But with that said, this book is a lot about the military principles that they experience inside of high intensity situations, warfare, hostage missions, all those types of things. But as you can tell by the name of the book itself, the main topic is the point of extreme ownership. And so to give you a little bit of background on the actual story itself, and like I said, buy the fucking book, it's amazing, but I just want to cover this one topic. And so to give you a little bit of background on the concept of extreme ownership itself, they essentially, long story short, had a friendly fire situation overseas. They were in Iraq or Afghanistan, one of those areas. They had a friendly fire situation, and when it came down to figure out who was at fault, they realized that everybody was taking ownership of that problem or that devastation, that situation that happened. And so that same mentality needs to apply to your life. And basically what I mean by that is, if you can think about that situation, it's a friendly fire incident. Somebody was killed by their own people. It's like me walking across the fucking house over here and just like shooting my girlfriend. Like, that's essentially the same thing. It's pretty much what happened. Now, obviously there was a lot of things that went wrong in this situation. Maybe they didn't know it was, a friendly, they didn't, make the proper checks. They didn't make the proper communications to acknowledge that was a friendly. Maybe this was even something that was already in the maps as friendlies are going to be located here, so don't fucking shoot that direction. And it was obviously, it went unnoticed. So basically what I'm getting to is, during the briefing, during the breakdown of, the casualty, they got to a point where the commander, the chief, I'm not in the military, so I don't know proper fucking military terms, but thank you to everybody that is in the military, and thank you so much for your service, because it allows me to sit here, stateside and do the things I love, and it wouldn't be that way if it wasn't for you all, protecting and serving our country. So during the breakdown of the actual casualty, they start to come down into the fact of whose fault is it? Whose fault is it that this person was killed, that a friendly was killed? And, one person raised their hands, Jocko, it's my fault, I didn't do this. The next person raised their hands, nope, it's not his fault, Jocko, it's actually my fault because I didn't do this. Another person raised their hand, it's neither of their faults, it's actually my fault because I didn't do this. And the next person raises their hand, it's neither of their faults either, it's actually my fault, disregard all three of those people, it's my fault, I didn't do this. And this literally happened through every fucking team member on their regime, or whatever the fuck you call it. And this really stuck with me because it made me realize that at all levels, whether it's business, life, marketing, sales, whatever the topic is, you need to take ownership of your actions. And at all levels, you can find where you fucked up and it led into devastation or an outcome that you didn't want inside of your business, whatever the case might be. And so this is one of the principles that we've really adopted inside of our own company, is the concept of extreme ownership. And we've actually had similar situations to that debriefing where we've gotten on team meetings and we've talked about situations going south and everybody's owning up to it. No, Mike, it's my fault. No, Mike, it's my fault. No, Mike, it's my fault. I didn't do this. It's my fault. The first time that happened, I was like, holy fuck. I immediately thought of the book and I was like, wow, this is one of those situations. It's happening. So the reason I really, like was passionate about that actually happening inside of our company was because it showed that because I wasn't afraid to take ownership of the company's actions, people started to realize that it was actually something that happened on their side of things that led to that result. And at the end of the day, shit slides downhill. So if you think about it in their specific situation here, Jocko and Leaf's situation here, it was a situation where Jocko's commander or the person that he is, to go to or to call to was like, Jocko, what the fuck, like whose fucking fault was this? Like find out who it was and we got to get rid of him. We can't have anything like this happen again. So long story short, Jocko goes in, he's talking to the team, they're all owning up to it. He goes back to the commander and he's like, dude, everybody owned up to it, even me. So like, I don't even know who to blame for this. And they were like both kind of starstruck with each other. They were both in the mindset of, wow, we've developed a pinnacle level of ownership, accountability towards each other's actions to where we don't even know whose fault it is because we can all find out where we each individually went wrong that led to this tragic outcome. And so I think this is a really important topic because if we think about this in business, life, sales, marketing, whatever you think about, if you can start to take ownership of your actions, the outcomes of situations are going to drastically change 100%. One of the benefits is going to be obviously that you're getting to the root of the problem quicker, but the other benefit is you're not in a fucking elementary kindergarten sissy fight of playing a blame game. Oh, you did it. It was your fault. It was your fault. No, it wasn't my fault. It was your fault. No, we're not doing that. We're taking ownership of our own actions, how that fucked up the mission, and how it ultimately led to a tragic outcome. So we need to apply these same concepts and principles to our own lives. We need to take ownership of our own actions. If you're not doing the things that you need to be doing, don't fucking blame somebody else. Don't blame the president, the country, genetics, DNA. There's all types of things that people try and play that victim mindset around, but in reality, it's based on your own actions. So think about that for a second. Think about one situation that went south. Figure out how you can take ownership for that situation. Whether it was you or somebody else or not, I guarantee you, if you sit and think about it long enough, you will find out where you yourself went wrong. So with that being said, get the book, Extreme Ownership. Super, super, super powerful message, story behind the actual book itself. There's tons of other principles inside of the book, so it's not just, extreme ownership itself, but there's a lot of things that tie into that concept of extreme ownership. But it starts with you dropping your ego and taking ownership of your day-to-day actions, your minute-to-minute actions that could potentially lead to a tragic outcome. So take ownership of the shit you do. Like, comment, subscribe, send it to a friend, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.